today. So I know we're pretty deep into the C20 project right now, as you can see, getting the motor mocked up and everything, but I'm gonna take a quick break from that and work on the El Camino because this is something I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. The old exhaust system on the car is pretty cobbled together, so we're doing this 3-inch Hooker Blackheart stainless exhaust system for the 64 to 67 GM A bodies. So this is everything you need to actually put it on the car, and like I said, it's all stainless. It's got the O2 sensor bungs already welded into it. We're using their Hooker Blackheart mufflers that are all TIG welded. Super nice. They've already got the hangers figured out for you, so it comes with all the hardware to hang this exhaust on the car, both obviously at the front with the engine, here behind the muffler, and then out here by the exhaust exit at the tailpipe. So it comes with all the clamps to actually clamp this thing together. You can either clamp it or weld it. I'm probably just gonna end up clamping it because I have plans to possibly put a turbo on this car in the future, so no point in welding this exhaust all together just to have to take it all back off and redo it. So pretty much all you need to install this exhaust is a few wrenches. Obviously you can use a ratchet and a socket, but 7/16, 1/2 inch, 5/8, and 3/4. So the 3/4 are for the bolts that actually hold the rubber isolators to the car. 5/8 is for the clamps. 1/2 inch is for a couple of the bolts that go to the frame. And then the 7/16 is actually for the bolts that hold these rear brackets onto the frame. So yeah, pretty nice kit. It comes all mandrel bent, so there's no kinks in the pipes, and I'm excited to get it on the car and hear how it sounds. So I'm gonna start by ripping the old exhaust off the car, which I guess I can show you guys right now. So the underside of this car is pretty dirty, and the old exhaust was just cobbled together kind of last minute to get it ready for sick week. So it's got some Flowmaster 40 series mufflers, some non-mandrel bent 2.5 inch pipe, and then I have an adapter from my 1 7/8 primaries Hooker Blackheart headers down to the 2.5 inch pipe. So I'm going to be taking the exhaust apart right here. As you can see, I already got my clamps loose, and pulling it down and putting all the 3-inch stainless on here instead, that actually goes up and over the axle rather than dumping right in front of the axle like this old stuff. So I'm going to get after it, start taking this out, and then start mocking up the new stuff. Yeah, buddy. And just like that, the old exhaust is out of here. As you can see, my primaries come together right there on that collector, and that is a 3-inch collector. So these old 2.5 inch adapters are gonna go away. This was all done at LS Fest back in 2019, so that would explain why it looks so terrible, because the swap happened in a parking lot. But we'll be swapping it out for some nice new stainless stuff, and got the old hangers out and everything, so we have plenty of room to get this new exhaust in here. I'm gonna start mocking it up piece by piece and clamping it together as we go. You want to see just how easy one of these goes on? All you do is put the clamp on the end and then just slip it into place. It's really that easy. It's kind of unfair building an exhaust this way because it just slips right into place. Then you get it all in there and tighten all the clamps down. So there's my 3-inch adapters off of my mid-link headers, and now I need to bring the next piece in and see how it fits, which I believe will be the little kickovers which go to the X pipe, which is going to end up somewhere in that general area. So yeah, it's just that easy. Pretty trick. So I've been under here getting this mocked up in place. Everything is clearing pretty nicely. Holly did a good job making sure this clears the factory crossmember. And they couldn't have planned for me to have a gear vendor under here, but the gear vendor fits like pretty much perfectly between the X pipe. Even my drive shaft loop clears the back portion of the X pipe, which is just perfect. The 3-inch adapters are in and fitting very nicely with the rest of it. It might hang kind of low, we'll see, but 3-inch exhaust generally does hang pretty low. Maybe I'll have to come in here and modify the crossmember a bit to tuck it further if I want to, because this car is pretty well slammed on the ground. But it's fitting pretty well so far. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm using some ratchet straps to hold it into place right now. So there's a little trick for you. If you don't have any, screw jacks or dead man jacks or whatever you guys call them to hold this up underneath, you just stretch some ratchet straps across your frame and it holds the exhaust up in place. Works perfectly. So like I said, gonna keep mocking it up and see how it goes. So I've got most of the exhaust mocked up on the car. I still need to finish mocking up the mufflers as well as the over the axle pipes and the tailpipes, but I wanted to show you what these mufflers look like. So I'm taking some photos because I'm writing a story for the Holly Motor Life blog, but I'm gonna show you in person before it goes on the car because it is much easier to show you while it's off the car versus when it's in it. So this entire muffler is TIG welded stainless, super nice, but inside is where the magic happens. So if you look down in here, it's got a straight through high flow passage that has perforated holes all the way down, and the entire muffler is packed with packing inside. So it should provide a moderate to aggressive sound, but also not drone on the highway. So we're gonna get these tossed up in the car and then work on going over the rear axle and see how this works. But this photo's looking mighty nice. Might not do it justice here on camera, but I'm excited to get this on the car and hear it. Yeah, buddy. Well, after fiddling with it for a long time, the exhaust is finally on the car. And I was taking pictures and kind of lollygagging, so it took longer than it should have. But I had to drill the frame only in 2 spots. So right here and also on the other side, it got 2 1/4-inch holes for the rear hanger. As you can see, the exhaust exit is pretty killer, tucked up behind the bumper on both sides. It's pretty even, pretty straight. There is a lot of aftermarket parts on this car, so I really had to be careful running this exhaust. It clears the coilover just barely on both sides. So I'd say that while it is tight, it still works with the factory, style suspension and with the aftermarket suspension. So my coilovers fit in there, my adjustable upper control arms, my sway bar, my lower control arms, everything fits just perfect. Even these frame braces right here, still clear. So all these goodies from QA1 do not interfere with this exhaust whatsoever. It hangs a little lower than what was on here already. You see how much room is actually above the muffler. My mufflers were tucked up in there before, but I really can't do much about that with the current setup. So as you can see, it clears my drive shaft hoop, the gear vendor. It has a little bit of clearance on both sides for the transmission crossmember. I still need to plug up this O2 bung on this side, as well as install the O2 sensor on this side and plug it into the Terminator X. But it definitely fits. So we've got Holly motor mounts, the Hooker Blackheart mounts with the clamshell, the Holly 302-2 pan, a Turbo 350. So if you've got a Turbo 350, you got to cut these ears off the transmission on both sides. But I did that when I first swapped this motor into the car. So yeah, it clears pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. I am now pretty excited to see how it sounds. So I'm gonna put my O2 sensor in and then we're gonna fire this sucker up and see what it sounds like. If you don't make yourself bleed a little, did you actually earn it? I don't think so. So definitely busted my knuckles a couple times on this project, but Go 2 sensors in and hook back up. I got a little heat shield going on for my transmission lines. Everything's looking pretty good under here. So now we're gonna drop it down and fire it up and see what it sounds like. I hope it sounds pretty good. It's back on the ground. As you can see, the exhaust hangs a bit lower than it used to, but it's still got plenty of ground clearance. I mean, that'll go over speed bumps, and that's all that really matters. So let's jump in and fire this thing up. Heard it at idle. Let's hear it rev. Everything's looking good on the gauges, so let's see how it does. Woo! Buddy, does it sound mean? It is much more open than it used to be. Jeez, that is pretty serious. And yes, we have all the oil pressure. Pretty freaking awesome. Yep, I'm a fan. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I'm glad it's off the car and that new stuff is on there and making some beautiful noises. Not too shabby. And then tomorrow we'll take it for a drive because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Probably not the best time to wake the neighbors, but there we go. New exhaust installed and ready to go. It is officially the next day here at Sally's Speed Shop, and me and Moby are about to go test on this new exhaust and see just how good it sounds out on the open road. So he's gonna be my official tester back here in the back to see what it sounds like out by the rear while I drive. So we're gonna run up to the gas station, get some gas in this gas jug, and also, like I said, test out that new exhaust and see what it sounds like. Yeah, buddy, time for a car ride. Using my high-tech hold down technique here. Just an old, get my old high-tech hold down for my gas jug installed. Just a bungee cord hooked into my smuggler's box area. It works pretty well though, so I can't complain too much. We'll keep you company back there, Mobes. So yeah, let's fire this thing up and hit the road. Sounds like today. Make sure Moby's good in the back there, so I can't romp on it too hard, but let's rev it up a little. So regular driving, it sounds pretty good. It's a little bit louder, but no real drone. It's a good tone. I can definitely smell the new exhaust. Takes a while to burn off all the stuff that's in the stainless pipes, and you'll smell the mufflers for a good while, but it doesn't smell terrible, just just smells like new exhaust. So that'll go away as time goes on. But we're gonna run up to the gas station real quick, and then I'll put Moby here in the cab with me so we can romp on it a little bit and hear what it sounds like.
Coming out of the driveway, so I think it's gonna work ground clearance wise. And it's 3-inch pipes. I mean, they're freaking huge. So the fact that it's not rubbing on anything is a great sign. So pretty awesome kit altogether. Busy gas station. Let's find a nice spot in the shade.
So I generally always carry this fuel can around in the car because my gas gauge on the dash doesn't work. So this is my reserve fuel tank. So you ready to go in the car, not here in the back, so I can actually drive fast? Yeah. So I'm gonna fill this up, put a little bit in the tank, and get back on the road. This is where you just watch your money disappear.
Brought to you by Wendy's.
It's not that bad here, but that's premium for $4.45 a gallon. It hurts a little bit, but it's part of the deal when you drive a V8 muscle car. You got to put good gas in it. See if I can hit my gas pump challenge of getting the gallons down. 8 gallons on the nose. Luckily, it didn't need that much gas, so my wallet doesn't hurt too terribly today. All right, we got Moby riding shotgun, so we're gonna see what this thing sounds like when it's opened up. I don't see any cops, so we're good. Oh, it sounds awesome. Yeah, Moby. It sounds so good. I like it a lot. So if you're looking for a nice free-flowing exhaust that fits an A-body with a lot of different aftermarket parts on it still, check out the Hooker 3-inch stainless exhaust. It's Moby approved. So yeah, there you go. New exhaust is on the El Camino, and it sounds pretty awesome. I will say that was a very straightforward, simple install. Only had to drill 2 holes on each side for the rear bracket. Otherwise, it's pretty much completely bolt-on, and you don't really have to modify anything. Seems to be Moby approves, and I think the car sounds awesome. So pretty happy with that. And yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this one. The El Camino definitely needed a new exhaust because the old stuff was pretty junky. And the Hooker Blackheart 3-inch stainless exhaust worked perfectly on this car, and it sounds freaking amazing. So as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. Please remember to comment, like, subscribe, all of those things. That help me a ton and helps me produce more videos for you guys. And there is lots of stuff still to get done around here. So if you want to see more videos, help me out and hit that subscribe button. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.